Welcome to Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, AK Tags.
I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
And I'm Brittleknee.
BK is back for 211 of Forever Exiled. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And hanging out with us.
Of course.
211. Here we are. Sorry, I had a mind blank there.
Justin's just coming back to reality here.
It's actually really fitting because 211 is our in-game global channel, and the way that we tell people to remember it is by B is the second letter of the alphabet, and 11 or is K. So if you put BK together, it's 211. And then this is a 211 episode. So it's a BK episode.
Amazing.
It's all BK.
It's all falling into place. That first
so
invite
BK.
To the first episode and the subsequent rule of tens was for this moment, culminating now before our eyes.
Well,
is that why you're 211 in game?
Yeah, that's why we use that one.
You'll also be on the episode with us that is our global channel, which is when we're on episode 2121.
Incredible. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
I have to film that one from the nursing home, but you know,
just
wheel
around
our
the
little
river
wheelchairs
bend.
together and here we go. Have a chat.
They still make it.
And they're just talking about
PoE 2 is
PoE 6 and the canned peaches at the cafeteria.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. Well, yeah, big shout out to our patrons. Thanks to everybody who resubbed up this week. We appreciate your faces. Patreon gets you access to After Dark. It's a podcast after the podcast. BK, are you joining us for After Dark?
I will be.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Oh, I can't wait for this After Dark.
I haven't decided the beverage yet, so
I'm going to have all of them. My desk.
Just the entire beverages, all beverages.
We were going through our schedule for this coming week, and I was laying it all out for our team. And on Friday, it just said heavy drinking all day. So
that's awesome.
Fantastic.
Tonight, that's what it's going to be.
Your people appreciate that humor?
My people? I don't care.
Yeah, you said you laid that out for them, and that's what it said.
Yeah.
Did you get giggles or did you get like nervous side glances? And
No, I got
they're going to
laughter.
try and incarcerate you?
People know. People know
That they have to laugh at your jokes.
know that they're going to want to drink.
This cleansing is needed for
it's
all
a necessary,
involved.
it's a necessary drinking
it's a
day.
team bonding experience.
That's right. Who can get drunk first? Our private league also starts today, which is fun. That actually starts in like a little over an hour. So plan that well.
Yeah.
That was such a mistake on my part, but it's gonna be fun.
We were originally going to record both of our episodes in the evening, but then forgot that it was a one episode, our BK episode, and then also Justin was having a tough time matching both realities.
I couldn't make it work to record both tonight, so I appreciate both of you working with me. It's awesome.
It ended up being better for me too, because I still get to go to work this afternoon. So
sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. How's your week, BK? How's life? I guess not just your week.
Well, the week has been pretty good so far, and life has been honestly great. I took that trip towards the end of last month, early this month, out to Colorado.
Nice. How was it?
To kind of like vibe check the area, and it's wonderful.
Did it pass?
Cannot wait to get out there. Yeah, like I went in there pretty certain that it was going to be like the place I definitely wanted to move to. But once I got feet on the ground and was like walking around the town and everything like that, like it just continued to confirm like this is the right spot.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was really, really cool. I love the little town. It's so sleepy and quiet, and it's got a lot of like sort of like that small town vibe and charm. And living so close to Boulder and Denver is going to be super nice too. Just kind of being close to a larger city and all the advantages that has, from everything from like seeing shows like metal shows and stuff like that come through, all the way to like being able to find more interesting cuisine and stuff to cook, because I love cooking. And then, you know, have all of that's super convenient, and the public transit system there is so good. Like,
Jealous.
honestly, really cool. Like, there's like buses that go from Denver up to Longmont, and Denver up to Boulder, and Boulder to Longmont, and Longmont up into the mountains. There's like all these different stuff. And it's so cool because it's just so easy. You just like look it up, you get your pass, you jump on, and it's fine. Like, it's so interesting to be around functional systems. And both, like all three cities are incredibly walkable, and especially like bicycleable too. So
Nice.
I'm really, really, really excited that like I'm not going to have to just immediately buy a car when I move. Like I will actually just be fine with a road bike.
Do you have a timeline?
Probably indefinitely. So my lease is up in March, and that is the goal. That's the finish line. But my landlord is willing to sign a 6-month lease for me too this year.
Nice.
As like a
just if you need
one-time
it.
thing. Yeah, just if I need it. So it gives me a lot of comfort to kind of like have, you know, the big goal of saving. I'm actually going to pick up another job over the holidays, work some holiday. Oh, hi, Ollie. Work some holiday hours and put a bunch away because I really, really want to make that March deadline. And if you have a pulse and can show up to work, they will hire you for
holiday for sure. Yeah.
Holiday pay. So it's just an easy way to get a lot of money. I'm hoping there's some of the department stores still do gift wrapping. And I was like, hell yeah. I'll get paid fucking $9 an hour to wrap presents.
You like wrapping presents? Or is that just better?
I do actually. It's like really satisfying to me, especially I'm not going to toot my own horn and be like, oh, I'm fucking
Pretty
great
good
at it. But one second, let me talk to my doggo. He knows that normally this is about the time that I would like wrap up my stream and it's time to go for the walk before I head to work. And so he's just like, what the fuck is this? We're not outside. Yep. Like, what are you doing? So I may have to go give him pets a few times through the episode to
no worries. No problem.
soothe him.
Now you said rock, like were you talking like rock shows, like, you know, melting rocks?
So most of the shows I try and catch are like metal shows, but I'll see other artists and stuff that come through too. Right? Yeah.
Cool. I did not know.
Yeah, and especially if any of the musicians that I like come through Red Rocks, which is like that big amphitheater, like I have to go because I hear that's like an entire experience. And my parents saw, I think it was the Moody Blues play at Red Rocks, and like they talk about that concert like it was a fucking religious experience. So I'm pretty excited to catch a show there at some point.
Oh, cool. It's pretty sweet.
I didn't know because I only catch a stream sometimes, but it's always just like chill music.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't come across as the metalhead, but that's what they say about expectations, right? It's just harder to grow an audience with fucking death metal in the background, okay? Like maybe you find your people, but you know.
That's funny.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you had a good trip up there. I'm glad it's looking positive.
Yeah, I'm just really, really excited. I think it's going to be a beneficial move in many, many ways. And I'm just kind of looking forward to starting with a clean slate in a new city.
Yep,
totally. And March will come quick. It's already.
I know. It's one of those things Christmas. Where like I'm hunting for employment ahead of time, trying to find stuff like remote for now, just to kind of secure employment before I go. And it's like really weird because like it's so soon. I'm like mentally shitting my pants trying to get ready for it. But then like when I'm putting in applications, like it's so far to start applying for stuff locally. So I guess like starting in like July or something, or January, sorry, July. January, I was going to start putting in local stuff.
Right. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Fun. How's your grass?
It's doing okay. It's not dead, but
it's plus.
It is mostly like a mix of weeds and what grass managed to stay, but it's green and it's mowed. So I'm going to count it as a victory.
Oh, that's right.
Good for you. Good for you.
It's uniform in shape, size, and color. It's just not all the same plant out there.
That's actually pretty good. Well, that's good. I'm glad you had a good time out there. And how's streaming going?
Streaming's been actually pretty fun, pretty good. I really found a build that I liked, and that was something that I guess I needed to sort of re-engage with PoE a little bit more seriously, was to kind of like find my own feet again.
Yep.
So I've been playing a CI Hexblast Trapper, and the Mines version of the build does like way more damage, but I like the mana cost associated with traps, and it allows me to fit more defensive auras and just play a generally tankier character, which is a playstyle that I enjoy. But it's been really fun. I've been farming up all sorts of stuff and getting really lucky on certain corruption outcomes and stuff like that. So it's been like a good league. Made a fair bit of, divines, and have been able to bring the build pretty far. And I might even do some challenges. We'll see. But it's kind of shocking. People are like, wait, you're still streaming? I'm like, yeah, I'm still streaming. Over the past year or so, it's been like one thing after another. A league start and then something fucking happens and like I can't play anymore. But yeah, it's been nice to actually spend some time with PoE.
Sweet. How's your week, Ty?
I had a week.
Okay.
I have to click on the thing because
to
I don't
remind yourself of what you.
Oh, right. That's why I don't remember my week.
I love that you
my
said,
first point
I had
is
a week, and then it's not good.
I had a great week. It was not good. No, I guess that's why I can't remember it. I had a brutal medical week, apparently. It says I was in lots of pain and exhausted every day. I was mapping each day. No, I was napping each day during the day, and I went to bed early every night. Mentally, I'm great. But physically,
why?
The end.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I mean, I did rake once, so I can see why like raking would just is so much work. And so that I could see myself needing to fall asleep right after that and probably right after the kids go to bed. But there's gotta say, there's nothing like a nicely raked lawn.
Yep.
If you know what I mean.
I mean, if you have leaves, I guess. If you don't have leaves, then what are you raking for? You know?
It's a back scratch. Just out there back scratching the lawn.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing like how your car feels after an oil change. If you have a car.
Totally true.
Right.
Totally
so
true.
Anyway, no, I had a good week, but I really don't remember it. So I must have just slept the whole time, and I got to trust my notes on that one. But all of a sudden, here I am. Kids are off school today, and they are super excited because tomorrow they have a very busy day. Normally tomorrow's their chores day. They wake up and then they begrudgingly do their laundry and clean their rooms, make their bed, all that kind of, well, not make their bed, switch their bedding, all that kind of stuff. And they hate Saturdays as a result of that. And they're like Calvin and Hobbes, where it's like, you know, they set their alarm crazy early on the days off so they can get the most out of their day. You know what I mean? So
and then dad wrecks it.
Mm-hmm. Amen. No, they only have to do chores. They're like busy till noon. Okay. Well, my daughter's busy all day because she'll take like 8 hours doing her laundry. But they're really busy in the morning, and then we have company coming over in the afternoon, and so they're going to be busy. So today they have the day off of school, and so they're going to be doing their chores today. But I also let them, because we're doing the podcast and we have the private league today. I was just going to let them play video games for a stupid amount of time once their chores were done.
Sweet.
And the excitement that there is for getting their rooms done is crazy. I've never seen them work so fast. So.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's going to be a good day. And my wife actually she has a big thing coming up for work. And so she took the day off of work today to stay home, not realizing that it was a day off of work or day off of school for the kids. So she's thinking she's going to stay at home.
Yeah, she's like, damn it.
Right. It's like a relaxation day. Don't have to do shit. And then, oh no, kids are here.
Yep. It was definitely a mental prep day for her. And now the kids are home. And so hilariously, and then there's this thing in the backyard. We can't find it. Every now and then when Riley, that's my dog, goes out into the backyard, we have an enclosed backyard for people listening. And so we don't have to watch her, but every now and then she comes back. Like, so where we live, where with all the rivers around us and the valley and everything like that, it's dangerous taking your dog to the dog park. Most dog parks in our area in the fall, because that's when all the salmon that don't make it back, their originating point, they die on the shore. And so a lot of the times when you're taking your dog for a walk in these dog parks, there's just this nasty stink of dead fish every now and then. Of course, dogs love that, and they'll go and they'll roll in it. So we just don't go to the dog park when it's this time of year. Well, every now and then when my dog's coming back from just going out in our backyard, she comes back stinking like dead fish, and she's been rolling in something, and we can't find it anywhere. Anywhere. Sometimes she goes out and she comes back in, she's totally fine, but we can't find whatever it is that she's occasionally rolling in anywhere. And so now my wife's home from work. I'm recording and doing the private league. And my kids, they can't wash the dog in the shower. It just wouldn't be thorough enough. Like, I could get them to do it, but it's not like a normal shower. Like, if you're actually trying to make it so that the dog doesn't get the stink on the furniture, the kids aren't good enough for that. So now my wife's home. She's trying to have a relaxing day, but the kids are home playing video games. Going to be loud. I'm like screaming because I hate hardcore from the basement. And my dog needs to go out to the bathroom sometimes, and she's going to be the one that needs to.
Glad I took this day off.
Right, exactly.
What a great day off.
She only gets a certain amount of those a day.
It's like a sitcom episode at this point.
It is. So it's like, really, yeah, you know what? I could see that you do that sitcom, right? And it's quite a funny show. But yeah, she's had better days.
Sweet.
She's also sick.
Oh no, that's too bad.
Yeah. So, do you want to talk about your day?
My day. Well, my week has been good.
Week.
Work's been wickedly busy. I mentioned that last week that this week was going to be insane, but such a good feeling week.
When people quote us, BK, in our community, it's always, I can't remember my week, and Justin had a busy week.
Yeah, it is typically like that.
Well, and as humans, we tend to fall into patterns. So.
Yes, it's true. It was a good week. Really, really busy. I wasn't home a ton, but work's been awesome. I had a very, very fun time. Nice job, Ty. A very fun time yesterday, and some big stuff happening with our company. So that was fun. And then I got back into 3D printing again with my son. So my 13-year-old, we had a 3D printer.
He got into it and you helped him, or you're into it and he's helping you?
So like he's in musical theater, and he's part of their tech crew in musical theater. And so part of their stuff was he had this idea that they could just use our 3D printer to create props for this play that they're going to be doing. And so him and I were working on getting some of these things built together and getting these props done. But then as that progressed, he started to get much more into it, and he's using software to design his own stuff. And then he wanted to design but build his Halloween costume. But our printer, it's a Creality, I don't know, V3 End or something, but it wasn't big enough to print like helmets. And so I was like, I kind of want to get one that can do like
of course you do.
That's
but
awesome.
This one can't make vehicles.
Yeah, we can't do vehicles yet. So anyway, we bought a bigger printer, and it was a combination gift for him and I for our birthday. And so so we started putting together his costume for Halloween. Okay, but I don't know. So he calls it FNAF, which drives me nuts. It's Five Nights at Freddy's, which I don't know much about. But,
okay.
The reason that the FNAF bugs me is because he just says it so fast, and he's like FNAF, FNAF, and I'm like, I don't know the words you're saying.
There's this sound that's coming out of your mouth that I don't understand.
That makes no sense at all. And it's like a bear or a bunny combination. I think it's a spring something. Anyway, so we actually have printed out like a full helmet, and he's working on doing all of the he's using fabric for the helmet, and it's got a detachable jaw that will set up so that it works, and we bought stuff for the helmet and the ears. I'll send you a picture and show you.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so he's got
really crazy,
really big into it.
Full cosplay creation now at this point. That's so cool.
And he's loving it. And so it has caused me to also get back into I sent it to you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll put it in Discord so people can see. That's missing still
so
one
cool.
ear. So there's still one big ear that's attached to the other side that actually bends over. But that's crazy. It's gotten me into playing now with the 3D printer. I will say too, once we started building that helmet and realizing how big you could actually make stuff on there, I was like, well, I could use a Mandalorian helmet.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So it's been actually really fun for him and I to play with that and come up with different ideas to print. And the deal for him with me was that I would get it for him as long as he was going to learn how to use software to build his own designs. Like, it's one thing to cosplay stuff where you can find it online, but you can actually do useful stuff with it. So learn how to actually use the software, and he loves that stuff. So yeah, it's been fun. The only problem is that we put it in his room because I wanted it. We had the littler one in our dining room, and then all of a sudden I started reading that might not be safe. Like the PLA that is used when it does 3D printing might not be. There might be particles or something. So now I'm looking at buying an enclosure for it, or I'm just going to move it to the garage, which he doesn't really want because he loves the fact that it's in his room. He's like,
yeah,
king in the
fancy
castle.
Pants.
Yeah. So
is it expensive to buy all the stuff you need to make every product? Like, I know nothing about 3D printing.
No,
I've never seen it in action or anything.
His whole helmet probably used up one spool, which costs like $30 Canadian. So no, I mean, and for us to buy that would cost me a fortune.
Yeah, if you go on Etsy and try and buy that same thing, it's going to be like $200.
Yeah. So, and it's fun because he gets to like build it himself. And, you know, it probably costs a little bit more than that when you consider, you know, we bought some airsoft padding for the inside and the material for the outside and, you know, some bearings for the jaw and stuff. But in the end, it won't cost us more than like $50. And then a lot of that stuff he can reuse. So all those helmets, we're putting them in with Velcro so that he can just pull out the padding and put it into another helmet when he makes.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun doing that with him. I just haven't had a ton of time. So he actually took it yesterday and today to my parents-in-law place, and he's working with my mother-in-law and doing all the I don't know what it's called. It's not decorating. It's like putting all the fabric on it and building it up and stuff. So it's been fun. Yeah,
that is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to get into too. Some of the 3D art that I'm working is, except I want to pivot mine more towards making miniatures for like D&D and stuff like that.
Yep.
And painting them. I've always loved painting minis. So the idea of being able to design and then paint my own stuff is like so incredibly exciting. So I'm hoping to get to that point.
My brother has all of a sudden decided that he wants to start doing the minis and painting them. And
it's really soothing work. It's like one of the only things that I can actually focus on like a normal person. Like when I have a paintbrush in my hand, I can actually focus and stay with a task for longer than 10 minutes. It's incredible.
Yeah, I don't think that's him. I don't think that's him at all. I think he's going to start it and then be like, nah, I don't like this.
Oh, no.
Is this his winter project until corn comes back?
Until something new has to happen. I offered him my other, small, because I got to get rid of the other printer. I don't want to have two. But
I wish shipping wasn't a fucking bitch because I'd just buy it from you.
Yeah. I was like, dude, if you want it, like his son loves the 3D stuff because they come over here and he gets like these little articulating things that Logan prints out and these little dinosaurs or dragons or whatever. And he loves it. And so I was like, but you're welcome to take this one. It's all upgraded. But he, I don't know if he asked and wasn't allowed or just decided he wasn't going to. I'm not sure
if it was too dangerous to ask or not.
Yeah. So anyway, good week overall. I'm excited for the private league this week, and I'll probably not get to play it until
your birthday,
Saturday or Sunday, whenever I can finish this editing our episodes. But my birthday's coming up. We're not edited yet.
Happy birthday, Jess.
Oh yeah, next week. That's my son's birthday too.
I love. Yes, it is. I love that you were. It's easy. See, I get that because you and your son share a birthday. So as a parent, it's easy to actually forget it's your birthday because it's always sharing a birthday. Kids.
I love it.
All the attention automatically goes to somebody else.
I'm not a birthday person at all. And so it's so good.
But I love that you were talking about like you got a 3D printer because it's a shared gift for you and your son.
Mm-hmm.
And now when we're talking, you forgot that your birthday's coming.
Well, I don't really remember when it is, but he's going to see some Five Nights at Freddy's movie on our birthday with his friends.
5 Nights.
Yeah, apparently there's a movie
or whatever it's
FNAF.
Yes.
FNAF, Dad, FNAF.
It goes to the FNAF.
You can use your words. Don't get dumber. You know, like there's enough words that are already shortened. FNAF. But yeah, so that'll be fun. Where his birthday is next week. Same with me. So
cool.
Yeah. All right. What do we got, Ty?
Well, it's also GGG's birthday.
Okay.
So yeah, GGG's birthday, October 23rd. And if you do the math, it's finally easy math. It's 10 years. Well, I guess GGG's not 10 years old, but the Windows PC release was 10 years ago, October 23rd. I should really go back and double check my dates and just to be sure. That's what it says. That's what it says. Because I also have alpha dates and beta dates in there. So what?
That must have been the end of beta.
Listen, buddy, my note says Windows PC release. Okay. That's what you get. That's the birthday.
I didn't go deeper than this.
GGG.
This is the final thought.
Because all the other notes say what the other stuff is.
In 2012, and you're saying this is 2013, so it must have been the end of beta.
Well, you joined. Well, no, this is the official release. You joined in beta before the official release.
That's all I'm asking.
You already know the answer.
Just curious.
You're the worst. There's like lots of hate just for you. Anyway, happy birthday, GGG. We're all happy for you.
Yep. Good.
Stupid Justin.
Cool. Rude.
All right. Sorry about that massive picture there.
Ty's got this week in PoE, and all it is one giant picture. What do you got though?
Well, it's just because I got it. I want to remember which MTX I got. So I just added the picture to my comment, and it adds it as a separate comment. It adds it to my comment, and then it adds it as the main picture
You
for
bought
the entire notes. No,
MTX?
it was the free MTX.
Oh, how do you get a free one?
Oh, they have a sale going on.
What?
You know those sales? It's Halloween, so you get they have their seasonal MTX back.
Okay.
Oh,
Right, like
sweet.
creepy
Cool.
pets that all like the dead floating
that their
girl.
Yeah,
Or
there's
an
a
all-mass
hideout that
skeleton?
is only available during Halloween too. So if you're a hideout collector, make sure you get it because
Oh, really?
it's only on sale during Halloween. Yeah, the entombed hideout.
Cool.
And
yes, the dancing skeletons.
Yeah, that's my
Yes,
favorite
I
one.
love the
With their arms
speakers. That is
flailing.
so awesome.
Those are there. So anyway, I really like that. I already have my 2 skeletons. I made sure over the years I now have 2 on PC and 2 on console.
Hell yeah.
Wait, so
But,
how did you get a free?
You just get a
thing?
free mystery box by spending points. And there wasn't anything that I was willing to spend points on, so I just got a Weta.
Well, you know what
Yeah,
you don't
the,
get it
the
for?
cricket.
Adding slots to the private league apparently does not give you the free thing.
You'd
Oh,
probably
you
have to
slots the
buy
private league?
points and then put the slots in.
Oh yeah.
Oh, because you have to buy point. Well, I thought it was if you spend
Yeah.
No,
points.
it's spending
Is?
points. So if you
Oh,
buy, they
okay.
have a little thingy that says if you buy a support pack, that's not spending points. You can spend the
Oh.
points from buying your support pack.
I
So
have to spend points every time we add 10 people.
I guess
Yeah.
in the store though, not in the private league. It's different.
FUGGG. F you.
It's different.
So on console, when these sales happen, I buy a Weta because it's
Yeah.
50 cents. But on PC, because I don't really do the pets and it's more about the guild hideout, I buy the guild hideout leaves that fall.
Oh man,
And that's
$1.
$1.
Falling
So-
leaves decoration. Let's go.
So
Sweet.
at some
How
point,
many do
people
you
are going
have?
to be able to see anything.
Walk into a hideout, it's just falling leaves.
What's the
all of
limit? It's
it.
like
Yep.
700 or
yeah,
something.
750 falling leaves.
And so
Map
anyway, there's about
device?
12.
Leaves.
Exactly. Just put them all on. Well, it's funny. I like to actually put the falling leaves on everything that is important to me. So there's the map device.
Mhm.
There's the MTX for the Atlas war table, right?
Mhm.
Even though I know I can just bring that up with the menu, I like to walk to it and click it. And then it brings up my Atlas. So then there's that. And then, of course, there's the stash. There's the guild stash because people use it, and the map device.
Are the falling leaves like pretty
Go on the
wide,
crafting
or
table.
are they pretty narrow
Yeah,
for what they
it's
cover?
about half a screen.
Okay.
But they fall from an undetermined point up above. So it's not like you don't want them on the lower side of your hideout because then they're just always in front of you, no matter where you are, kind of thing. So you always kind of put them at the north side of the hideout so that they're more background as opposed to actually falling in front of your character. But anyway, yeah, there's eventually going to be a bunch. But yeah, so there was that sale. What did they have? They had the hideout competition winners. And there were so many good ones that they actually added a second tier of runner-ups and gave prizes to them,
Oh, that's
which I thought
awesome.
was really thoughtful. Yeah, really nice.
I still think, I mean, that's really cool. I still think they are missing out by not putting those hideouts that win on like a 2-3 day sale.
Oh, like the hideout bases?
Like a bundle where you just like
Well,
buy
like,
it all or
so-
something like that? Or?
Well, so like the competition winner in this case, they've got the top 3 winners, and they whatever base that they used for designing the hideout, put that base on sale for like 2 or 3 days because people will see it, want to buy it, because in most of these cases you can copy their, like most of them you can download the hideout. I feel like you could sell the hideouts a lot better if you took the couple winners. Plus that makes them feel special. Like we talked about this last week because Suzu, one of the people on our Discord, they did the build of the week last week, and GGG then all of a sudden put on a Herald, was it Herald sale?
Yeah, a sale of heralds. Yeah.
Because that build was so heavy focused, they basically tied a sale into that and then sold a ton of them. I just think they should take advantage of these things that they do and then make some more money.
Yeah,
Anyway.
makes sense.
That's cool though.
Very cool. Yeah, so congratulations to everybody that won. That's pretty amazing. The hideouts were astonishing. Like I loved every single one of them. They were
Yeah.
just so
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
and unique. Yeah.
Like the creativity and the talent in the sphere of people that do hideouts now is just incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is amazing. And it's funny because I keep saying that I want GGG to revamp and make it more user friendly for pathofexile 2, how they make hideouts. But it still like blows me away what people can do with how finicky the system is with the different angles and altitudes of different MTX. It's amazing that people can come up with such precise, I don't know, detail, I guess you can say, and have it correspond so well.
Yeah. My favorite thing is when they take a bunch of random ass decorations and then make something completely new out of it. And they're like, oh, I took a bunch of, decorations and I made a fucking spider out of it. And you're like, how the fuck did you do that? And like,
right?
It'll look so good too. It's the stuff that always amazes me because like I can't even begin to like perceive that, let alone like invent that from scratch. And I'm just in awe of it every time I see it.
Yeah, I definitely
see that decoration. That's all I see. That's that decoration. It has to be that, and that's exactly what it's going to be.
Spider? Where's the giant spider? Right. Meanwhile, the guy's like, well, it's a combination of this rock in part 24 and this stick, and it's like,
yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm lost.
But even just to know how to hide them, like what clips together, like there's so much that seems glitchy to me, but it seems to just naturally coincide with some people's minds. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. People make. I love that they make them downloadable. Let me steal them.
That's fantastic. So even if they don't do the sale, at least you can figure out what's what. They also had the community showcase for some
the art.
The art, yeah,
that's crazy.
And it's always amazing what people do. I'm at the I don't know when people brag about art. I don't know how anybody does know. I don't know how people can tell the difference between if it was made by AI or not. But anytime somebody posts art, I just assume that they did it themselves. And I think
when it's stuff that's
amazing.
Super like built into trials, it would be tough to use AI if they're incorporating stuff like from within the game itself. But I agree with you. Sometimes it is tough to tell.
Yeah, no, really cool one. And I'm especially fond of the Navali one. That one just looks really awesome. Very down to earth and realistic, and I love Navali. So yeah. What else? We talked about the seasonal. I couldn't see the hideout that you mentioned earlier, BK. I went to search for it. Do you remember what the base is called?
For which one?
Halloween. Well, the Halloween,
it is
the
called
seasonal one.
Entombed Hideout, I believe.
I saw it.
Did you? It was there.
Yeah, it was like the second one, I think, on their list of the sale stuff, second or third. Entombed Hideout. But if you click it, it opens up a YouTube video because it scared me. I was like, quiet.
Oh no.
But it's like the what's that? What's the map where you fight those 3 skeleton bosses? It looks like that one.
Yep, it's the arena from that.
Yeah, where they come out of the caskets.
Yeah. I don't like that boss fight. You got to fight them over and over and over, but combined, they can be quite the prick.
Yeah, they do a lot of damage.
And then they had a character skills in pathofexile video come out this week as well. So still haven't had the opportunity to. Well, this is their finally edited versions.
ExileCon. Okay,
ExileCon.
Cool.
So it will be good to go back through all of those. What would be really fun is going back and comparing the talks and see if they cut anything out or dubbed over anything. So hopefully people don't notice stuff that maybe they accidentally said at ExileCon.
I doubt it.
Shut up. That would be great.
Yeah.
So
you're going to listen back for that? Ty's going to have
no,
it
but
side by side. Just got the whole stream and the YouTube. He's like, whoa. Something didn't line up here.
That's right. Why did they take that sneeze out?
That's right.
Did they accidentally say something?
Conspiracy.
That's right. But unfortunately, the massive sale that they're having again, which is fantastic. I went to go look through their specials, and again, it was another one. It's the same complaint that I had last. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago when they were doing their big hideout sale. They just don't have a good filtering system for their store. And to me, the mentality of the like, you go to IKEA, you go to Walmart, you go to Home Depot online, like the faster it is that you can find what you're looking for and relevant products, the easier it is to make a sale. And it's just crazy to me that there's the only thing you can do on their MTX site after clicking the extremely generic selection like hideouts or skill MTX. The only searchability you have is keywords. You know what I mean? Like I can't go to the skill MTX and just select all minion MTX. You know, I can't just search for only gloves because it might not be gloves. It could be greaves or something like that. You know what I mean? Like there's just not a good
tagging system.
Yeah, definitely.
And then by type and otherwise, like you drag purple in and see all the purple stuff, or boots and see all the boots, or pets and see, you know, yeah.
Exactly. Like even having something like where it's just a specific, like, you know, if they say something like I'm looking for the unicorn looking thing.
Yeah.
Like if I don't know, if I don't remember the word Pegasus, I have to scroll through 10,000 pets, right? As opposed to having a drop down menu that has a generic aspect. And for them to have a predetermined one where it's like, you know, you click on hideouts and it's just hideout decorations, or it's just bases, or, you know, like certain themes, you know, where it's more realistic looking or more magic-y, like, you know, like the madcap stuff. Like it would be nice if they had something a little bit more for that. Even the ability to price point. Show me all MTX under $2.
Right. Yeah.
Show me all MTX under 300 points. Right. That would be amazing. So anyway, I was frustrated enough again that I made a post about it, hoping, like wording it in a way that I hope that their website becomes more user considerate for pathofexile 2's release. Because there's so many other stuff that we've talked about recently, so I won't go on to it, but just BK as other things that I was saying, like they have a seasons and events tab on their website. Well, nobody knows what a season is unless they've actually neglected that for 10 years and it's supposed to say leagues and events, because seasons don't exist. But even their events page doesn't have anything to do with their boss event, no announcement, no nothing. It's just constantly blank. Yeah, just the small stuff like that. Like how when you go to create a filter on the website, they don't actually give you a filter to edit. So you have to have every single item in the game ready to edit yourself. Like you have to know where to find it and edit it yourself. You know, those kind of things. So even like clicking on the mods section on the website and it's just of mods, there's no organizational system or way to filter it or learn anything from it. So anyway, I was just hoping that the website becomes a little bit more user, I guess considerate's the word, because they're not really thinking of the user experience when they are only putting half of what they could available. So that's kind of what I did. So unfortunately, that's what the big sale, instead of exciting me, maybe it's because I already had my sweet skeletons, but that's where it brought me. But I did spend points, and I got 2 free mystery box, one for console and one for PC.
Nice.
And what did you get?
Well, you see, I was going to be disappointed with them no matter what, even though there's a lot of really good ones, because you spent one mystery box. Well, yes, because Justin got one mystery box, and normally like he's fine buying lots if that's what he feels like doing with his points. He has no problem with that. And so a lot of the times he'll get stuff he doesn't like, but a lot of the times he gets something that he really does like. And he only opened one mystery box this league, and it was the map device that has the timer on it. And I really want that. I can't wait till it goes to the normal store, but I'm not going to go and spend $5 a mystery box to see if I get something I could like. So on console, I was going to be disappointed with it no matter what, but this one's kind of fun. I got the one of the demon graft back attachments. That's like the flexing
arms or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And they like punch the ground or flex and stuff like that. So got that on console. And then this massive picture in our notes, the haunted cephalopod tricorn.
No, it's good.
So it's a hat. It's a hat, tricorn, that at the sight of octopus face. The sight of a tormented spirit sends the octopus on your head into a rage.
Well, so now you have to go back to tormented spirits.
Yep, not going to happen.
Oh no.
I specced out. So yeah. So
Friendship ended with tormented spirits.
It kind of is, yeah. Mixed with rogues, it's unkind.
Well, that's cool.
So yeah, that was this week in PoE. It was pretty small and slow. But did you guys open any mystery boxes?
I haven't. I have to make sure I get a Weta though before the weekend's up.
Is that when the
falling leaves?
I imagine. How long is the sale? Do you know?
Is it just during the sale that they do that, where if you spend it, you get a mystery box? And is it a current mystery box?
Usually. Yeah, the current one.
Yes, it is a current mystery box.
Oh, cool. So I can get something else. I'll have to get a Weta as well.
If you get another map device.
Are there 2 versions of the map device, of the clock? 3 of the clock?
Yeah.
Or really? Well, I'm going to be more mad than you if I get another freaking clock map device.
Oh man. Yeah, there's 3 different color versions of it. Bronze, silver, and gold. Looking at the sheet right now.
I think I got a silver one. I don't even remember.
But yeah, get yourself that Weta or Falling Leaves for an extra 50 cents.
Yep. All right.
Neither
BK.
are on sale, though. Neither of those are on sale.
Well, how much is the Weta? Full price?
50 cents.
So
Wait
you've been
for a sale.
playing. You've been playing. Can you tell us more about your build, like what you're doing in game?
So Hex Blast traps. I'm going. Well, this I started on. It was like bleed bow build, and the guy. There's nothing against the build, but I learned a lot of stuff about myself playing it again. So It was a useful experience, even though I didn't really end up taking the build very far. It's just like I have confirmed once and for all that weapon dependent leveling is not something that I'm ever going to do on a league start. Like when you have to have certain weapon damage for the build to feel good in a time when your resources are always dire like they are at the beginning of a league, like it doesn't feel very good. So it's much easier to stick with things that scale by gym levels, which is why caster builds are always so popular as league starts. So after that build kind of didn't work out, I just sort of thought about like, all right, well, what do I want to do? What's really popular right now? And I'd seen videos for the life stacking version of Hex Blast Mines. And then I remembered that someone from the community, Fash, was like, oh, well, I played Hex Blast Traps last league or during Sanctum League. And I was like, well, cool. Because 1, I didn't get to play very much of Sanctum. So I want to do that this league now that it's back. And then 2 is like, yeah, sure. I'll do the hipster thing and play traps instead of mines, whatever. I don't care. And so, yeah, I really love CI builds. They're really, really comfy to me. I like energy shield based builds. And so kind of just focusing on a lot of things that I have kind of come through building other CI builds to make something really, really comfy. Got a character that feels really, really good.
So you're doing traps, not mines?
Yeah. So with mines, and they have, like mines reserve your mana and also have like mana cost and stuff like that. And so I wanted to go pretty heavily defensive on my auras, which meant that as a CI build rather than like a low life build, I don't get to reserve my life pool. So I have to be like really cautious with my reserve because I only have so much mana. So it made more sense to me to go traps instead, allowed me to reserve more of my actual mana for defensive auras, and then through like a flask use and some other mana cost reduction tech was able to make traps even with their insane mana cost like feel pretty good. It's a really comfy build. The downside to trap support is that of course the gym itself is like dog shit garbage when compared to either high impact or blast chain mine support, because traps have been allowed to languish for a really long time without any sort of like clever new support gems or like, a reimagining of the support gem itself. So like the ceiling cap on traps over mines is like the ceiling is much, much lower. So if I want to go on and do like Ubers this league, I'll have to reconfigure my character a little bit and probably fit in mines. But for the content that I'm doing, which is farming Maven invitations, it's been fine. It's been good.
Are you like doing that all yourself, like running the maps, getting the Maven invitations, and then doing the invitations? What's the goal with Maven invitations? What's that setup? Like how is that?
So
what are you farming
it's a lot
for?
of boss rushing in general. Like I combined it with, I'm hunting up double corrupt altars from Incursion because I'm trying to get some certain outcomes and stuff. Like I hit my +1 to power charge on my helmet in 1. So I was like, oh, already get to move on to the next task. Okay, cool. But it works really good with Alva because like it's a lot of boss rushing. So you open a map, you hunt for Alva. If Alva's not there, you just go right to the end to the boss. And then on normal witness bosses, Maven spits out 1 to 3 extra normal bosses, like from other maps and stuff like that are randomized. And then they can also drop all of their associated loot. So what you do is you stack all of the different all the different stuff that gives you the extra guardian maps and synthesis maps and stuff like that. And you can get all of those from them too. So basically you just shit out like heaps and heaps and heaps of guardian maps, whether it's Shaper or Elder Slayer or
that.
yeah. And
I thought they were just for XP. I didn't
Yeah. So
realize that
basically,
the extra
then you
map.
use those maps to load up your invitations, and then you just do your invitation, and you can either run the Mavens yourself or sell the Maven invitations if you don't really want to, or the Maven, like her invitation, like to go fight her. You can either sell her or run her depending on like how you feel about your build and stuff like that. And then you generate a lot of extra fragments. You can sell your Uber and Shaper fragments and all that other kind of stuff if you want to, or you can run them. Like I run all of the bosses just because I enjoy it.
Maven too?
So that's what I've been doing, is just like lots and lots of like mid-tier bossing, I guess, since now that you have all of the Uber pinnacle stuff, it's like that's a tier higher. So these, I guess, would be like mid-tier boss farming. It's been pretty good, pretty profitable, really steady. It's not like an insane, like, oh my God, I'm just shitting out divines and I have so much fucking currency. Like, it is not something that makes a ton, but it's a steady supply. And I've been playing a little bit more SSF because I've had to do so much relearning from being mostly gone from the game for like a year. Let's be honest. Like, I haven't played as intensely as I used to, except for this league. And so since I'm having to relearn so much, I've been taking kind of putting this build together in like a more SSF sort of fashion. So farming up my own double corrupts and kind of trying to find different solutions to stuff in like less conventional ways than just get lots of money and then solve problem with money. And
So
I've been enjoying it.
Is the Atlas then primarily focused on just incursion and then those map drops and then the Maven stuff?
Yeah, because you have the points left over to kind of like filter in some of the extra stuff that you enjoy. So I have Harbie and Essence on there because I do a lot. I've been doing like a lot of crafting. And I love crafting with essences because it's just brain dead easy. So I've been making some profits from that as well. And then as well as like just bulk trading stuff. And then Harbinger, I'm determined to complete a fracturing orb or 5. And I haven't gotten super lucky yet, but that's my goal.
Rushing the boss, are you actually looking for them or just if you happen to come across them?
Usually I picked Harbinger and Essence because they stick out like a sore thumb. Like as you are going through the map, you'll see them. You just stop and do it really fast and then just keep going.
Yep.
Yeah, because I didn't want it to be like Abyss or something like Legion where there's like all this extra time involved. It's just like you stop, you basically throw a bunch of traps down and then go on with your life.
That's cool. Have you tried much of the Toda?
I have. It's actually been really, really interesting and really, really fun, but also like kind of frustrating, but also really, really fun. So there's some, I don't know, it's so hard to make a mechanic like that in an action RPG where then like you have to then balance around players' builds too because they've made the commitment that you're going to be down there with all of the enemies and stuff too, versus like Auto Battler, which is like a purely top-down sort of experience where you just control units and there's no you there. And so like ultimately as a design challenge, it's got to be really, really hard because like there's so much different build diversity and like so many things players are capable of. It can be really hard sometimes to just like to come up with like these little unit behaviors, AIs, what they do, their abilities and how they play, like that then also are balanced but aren't also broken. So like there's a lot. I remember that everyone's bitching about the turtle, right? Towards the beginning of the league and stuff like that. And I just think it's cool that it's gotten into the state that it is so far and how playable it is. Like people just live in there.
Yeah, it's amazing. And the retention value, like I'm seeing just so many posts on Reddit are about like, I finally came out of Toda, you know, I finally did this. But it's just like, that's all they're doing. And they're just having a great time.
And I love it.
Like that.
I like it too, because it's like more accessible than like, cause like my favorite content that's sort of like the in-game alternative has been Simulacrum for the longest time. Like I really, really love Simulacrum. And it's like, it's cool that this mechanic is something that you can just buy a stack of coins and go live in, right? Whereas like something like Heist, you have to have the contracts to run and the coins and all this other kind of stuff. So I love this sort of like plug and play readiness of it and the ability to choose like, I'm going to sit down and do this. And instead of buying like inventories of contracts, you just get to have a stack of coins and that's like super convenient. And as far as the different alternative in games are concerned, I like it actually better than Sanctum. I'm learning, but I haven't given Sanctum its like full playthrough yet. I'm just getting started on it. But yeah, so as like first impressions between the two, not having played either of them to like a super end game yet. Like I think it's more approachable. I think it like kind of makes you think a little bit. I like the sort of early accessibility of it as far as like you can choose to buy and utilize units that are beneficial to your weaknesses. So like if you need to round out something, if you have high damage, but like you fall over dead so easily, like you can make decisions that sort of counterbalance that. And I think that's pretty cool that you can come into it. Like there's always going to be like a effective way to play, right? Like there's going to be like, these are the best units to have, and this is the best strategy, and this is how you can kind of go, this is how you defeat this other team. But there's still room that if you want to kind of disconnect from the best of and kind of just have a fun experience of your own making as you learn and get defeated and all that other kind of stuff, I feel like there's a lot of room for that too.
I think for me, I do like the idea behind Tota. What I struggle with though is somewhat countered by your comment about the fact that they have to find a way to balance all the craziness of builds, which does make sense. But what I felt as I've gotten higher up into tiers is just that I am just a distraction. I can't be part of the fight because everything one-shots me, and I'm insanely tanky, but it just doesn't matter. Yeah. So like that was the only thing that I struggled with, was that I didn't really feel like I was getting to actually fight. I was just more run around and hit the, try and pull them off of people or try and hit some of the totems down. And so it started to get frustrating where I was like, well, I really liked it in the beginning because I was fighting. I would play defensively and let my guys do their thing. And then as you get higher up into some of the higher tiers, like literally any hit is almost a one shot.
Yeah, it becomes like delve, like evasion, deep delve at some point.
Right. Yeah. So I love the idea behind it. I just didn't go back into it with a different type of build that was maybe more evasion based, but even then still my whole goal would be just to try and hit totems, because the fighting part of it got really frustrating because there were so many one-shot mechanics, and I was like, all right, I don't like this.
And it's hard to like scale it too. It doesn't, it's not surprising that super in-game stuff feels a bit like deep delve, where it's like either kill or be killed, or I've heard, I actually haven't seen any of the posts or YouTubes and stuff about it, but I've heard like one of my mods has been playing like the cheese build for like really high Tota ratings, where it's like you don't do any damage at all, but like the character is just pure defense, so that you can like run around and channel on totems and stuff like that. And like that's apparently one of the sort of like strategies that have emerged when you have a complex system like Path of Exile, and then you push it against a mechanic like that. People can use the creativity and the mechanics to solve it essentially.
I think the one I saw was early on was everybody was using Void Sphere to just like suck the enemies away.
Gotcha.
Which was quite funny. I don't know if it even still works, but it was fun.
Yeah, they remove taunt completely from the mechanic, but then Void Sphere's fine. Yeah. BK, can I ask you a couple questions about? Oh, actually, before we go, I want to ask you two things about your Atlas passive tree that you were mentioning. But because we're on Tota, I may as well bring it up. I really hope tattoos go core. I think that is just ingenious. I like, and this isn't a criticism, it's just a personal preference. I don't like Tota, so I hope it doesn't get into the game. But then again, like I didn't like Sanctum, and people loved the Sanctum, and so that went into the game and that kind of stuff. But I really, really hope tattoos, whether they're tied to the league mechanic or not, I really hope they're just normal drops, but I really want the different tattoos they have to go in the game. Revamp them, do whatever you need to so that they're appropriate for the core game. But just that concept of being able to use like the value of attributes on your gear now because of tattoos is so much better. Like just an amulet that gives you 100 of whatever attributes, just to give you that extra amount so that your travel nodes are less valuable to you so you can use them for tattoos. I just love that concept. I think it's so cool. And the fact that they work in a way, some of them have that diameter value to it, kind of like how some jewels have that perimeter value to it as well. I just think that's so cool. So I really hope that goes core.
I agree. I think it's a really clever system to work with all of the ways that the Atlas is already manipulated, but still provide something completely fresh and new that still allows people to fine tune their builds.
And one thing that I mentioned to Justin a long time ago at the beginning of the league, but I love how like cultural it is. Like so many times, like we're playing through the game and you don't feel like you're a part of it. You know the story, you know the lore. We're all thankful for Cat Noodle's videos so that we actually know what's going on. But
I don't ever feel a part of it. I'm never immersed in the story. And for some reason, just the sake of having tattoos, and they're called tattoos, but then you have that little psh, official sound effect psh, of
Incredible.
whatever, like when you put it on and you see it, like you actually feel like you're being a little bit more immersed in the culture. And I'm reminded of the culture. And I actually really like that intertwining of just that connection between culture and what I'm doing on the tree. It makes it feel like I'm actually putting it on my character.
Absolutely.
So it's cool. Yeah. I want to ask you about Harbinger and Essence. I know they're common things that people use on Atlas passive trees because you can guarantee them in your maps so early on in your Atlas passive tree exploration. But you were saying that you like to do a lot of crafting with Essence. The only thing that I can think of when it comes to Essence, like that's just chaos spamming in a way, right? Except that it's Essence spamming, but it's chaos spamming.
Right. Yep.
How is that? How you go about it, or like, is there something that I'm missing with how crafting works?
There's a couple different things that you can do. So like you can combine them with fractured orbs or fractured, bases, and so 2 out of 6 things are always guaranteed. The thing from the Essence and the thing that's locked in place.
Sure.
So that kind of like will, as I go around and find like certain fractures that are decently well, like a high res roll here or something like that, like I usually like will kind of scroll those off to the side. And then the essences have a huge variety of different outcomes as far as like the things that they can do to gear. There's like so many different little tricks and shenanigans that you can get up to. Like you can use an essence mod on a belt that will give you like 60% chance to avoid being shocked. But when you combine that with the Storm Shield jewel that makes all of your elemental avoidance globally the same as your highest one, well, it's really easy to get shock capped because that huge amount of it is already on your belt. And then you can become ailment immune in a way that you don't have to run like Purity of Elements or run some other stuff. Like maybe your jewel can't, or like your build can't accommodate losing more than 1 jewel slot to be immune to ailments in like other ways. So there's like these little puzzles that you can solve with different essence crafts that are really, really neat. And so it requires kind of like stumbling across these outcomes and learning the markets and figuring out what people are doing. But there's some like generic ones that are always good, right? So like there's movement speed. You can put those on boots, right? To guarantee the high, like a high movement speed roll. You can use life ones on chest pieces, like the stuff that's like really, really straightforward and easy. But then there's other stuff too. Like people want a lot of mana reserve reduction because people really love auras. Well, there's an essence where you can put that on a helmet. And, like there's certain stuff that you can combine. And it's not like high-end crafting where you need a lot of brain power. And that's kind of what I like about it too. It's like I can just sit down and kind of just like throw some essences at the stuff. Like I would probably have made more money bulk selling all of my essences. But I enjoy the act of like, playing the slot machine. Like what else do you play PoE for? And so it's kind of fun. True.
All right. And when you are doing your essence spamming, do you do the top tier, the deafening, or do you do lower
I push
tiers
it all the way up to deafening. At the beginning, like when I'm crafting,
stopping at shrieking?
When I craft, well, yeah, you can stop at shrieking too. It's kind of like what you're comfy with. At my point, like to me, the essences are like mine and I don't care. Like if they're, so I just use them, right? So like you can decide for yourself, like, do I want the money out of this or do I want to just like have the experience of throwing stuff at it and seeing what happens? And I'm kind of more about the experience than I am about the bottom dollar or the bottom chaos, right?
Your build, do you just wipe out the essence monsters when they're done? Because they can be pretty...
So the coolest thing about traps and mines is that a lot of the bosses have the hidden modifier that makes them more resistant to damage the first couple of seconds that they're alive. Essences don't have that. So you can literally throw all of your traps out and then click it and the guy gets blasted to the moon and he's dead instantly. So that's why it's a really good mechanic to utilize around stuff that you have preset damage like that.
Okay.
Like even an SRS build is the same way where you can sit there and summon all 20 SRS and then click the guy out of it and they just turn around and whop them. So.
Whop them.
Yeah. It's the sound that they make. If you ever listen to SRS without MTX, that's the sound. I swear. It's like, whop, 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 whop.
There's a normal enemy that dies like that too. I think they're in the Val temples.
They're like those weird snake things that shoot darts. When you kill them, they go pop, 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 pop. And then, but because they're a big mob, it's a whole bunch of them. And then there's another mob that I love. Oh, it's the ghosts. Oh, I love killing the ghosts because every time they die, so you get a whole it's great. I want to ask you also about Harbinger. Is the only reason you're in Harbinger for the fracturing orb? Hope
it's kind of just.
Or what else do you like?
Well, Harbinger was my first league. And people fucking hated it. People were like, this is Penny League. I don't want to pick up alchemy shards. Fuck this mechanic. But it was my first league. And of course, I have, like certain sentimentality attached to it. And it also just comes back down to the fun factor for me. Like, yeah, like I like crafting. So having like a steady flow of exalt shards and annul shards for annulling orbs and exalt stuff is like fun because I've been slamming my gear. Closing my eyes and slamming my gear like Chris Wilson intended. And, so those are nice to have and you get those through that. And then the Harby orbs are always fun to try and get the Harbinger map because it's a nice little chunk of XP whenever you run it, the beachhead map. And then, fracturing orbs are nice too. And ancient orbs are always fun to throw at belts because you never know if you get lucky or not, Get the mighty blood, can you get a headhunter, can get something nice. So it's
so
just,
you
like
do
I
bother
said,
with the Harbinger boss too?
Yeah, it's just the fun factor, really.
Okay.
Like, is it cool to get fracturing orbs? Yeah, hell yeah. And it's cool to get all the other stuff too. But for most people, they wouldn't take the time that it takes to interact with a Harbinger to get that stuff because there's other things that you can interact with for the same amount of time and make more money.
Sure.
But it's just the nostalgia and the fun factor.
All right. You find it worthwhile to invest or to have the Harbinger boss show up?
Yeah, because, he can be kind of scary, but, like, I don't know if I think you generally just get, like, more currency shards from him. So there's, like, you have to be careful what you say sometimes about PoE stuff, where you're like, oh, it's a greater chance at fracturing shards. And then people will be like, actually, it's, the standardized drop rate across all types of currency shards. So you're not actually going to, but, it's a big boss. It's more stuff to fight. It's fun. I don't care. It's not very dangerous to me. So I just,
Cool.
Yep.
Good for you. Fun per hour. That's one of our 20 mottos. Hashtag fun per hour.
Well, like the thing is that like if I try to come back to PoE and I immediately try to step back into the role that I'm a player that I no longer am, all I'm going to do is burn myself out. Like, yes, Brittleknee a year and a half ago was at the top of her game. Like, I was fucking good at Path of Exile, but I haven't played Path of Exile in a really long time with any sort of seriousness that would be required to maintain a skill level of that nature. Because one, information in Path of Exile changes every single league, and then two, new stuff is added and other stuff is deleted. So, like, I have to learn from, a starting point again. And I figured the last thing I needed to do was to set expectations for myself that I had literally no fucking hope of achieving, burn out, feel like a failure, and then stop playing early. And so like my determination with this league was like, I'm just gonna fucking have fun. Fuck it,
I do that every league.
Well, it's different, when you're streaming and it's your income and everything is tied to that. But since getting the library job, like my income isn't as tied to it anymore. So I can afford to like relax. And I think that's really the only reason why I've been able to stick with it this time around versus the other times. It's just because like without that background pressure of like, you have to be a certain way because you are a streamer making a living off of this game. And like you carry the weight of the expectations of everyone around you. It's like, it's much nicer to just kind of be like, you know what? I don't know everything. Yeah. I'm actually pretty bad at this game now. No, I can't fight an Uber boss. But you know what? Maybe we get there and I'll learn how to get there.
That's awesome.
But I don't think anybody like, I mean, obviously a lot of that is in your head, like not in a bad way or a good way, but like your expectations is, what you're comparing yourself to and your previous things. But when people look at you, whether it's your, the people that are watching you, they're not going to see, wow, you're worse at the game. You know what I mean? They still see you very capable of doing everything that you want. But I think it's really awesome that you're open enough to be able to say that you're, despite the fact that, you're concerned about income and you are a streamer, that you are playing for fun per hour, not for the impressive per hour. And that's huge because it does allow you to play the game long term, but of course enjoy it. But then most importantly, enjoy your time, which has that massive reflection of how you enjoy your time when you're not playing PoE too, right? When you do things that you're not really doing for yourself, it makes all the time that you spend outside of that time a lot worse as well. So good for you for being honest. And thank you very much for saying that. I think you're still absolutely fantastic at the game.
Bah. I look forward to getting back on top of things again. And I think it'll come in time, just like it came in time when I first started playing. So I think it, cool. Give me a couple leagues and I'll get it back under control. But it'll be a journey until then, and I intend to enjoy it.
For sure. But it's kind of fun to go back and forth too, right? Like when you get that time to yourself and you take that year off or a league off, whatever it is, but then you come back and you have that new feeling of, okay, a couple things I need to learn. Where are people getting this stuff from? How are people doing this now? Like it's kind of fun to go back and forth and know everything for a bit and then relearn stuff for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Good for you. Just you play this week with your really, really, really busy week?
No,
but I'll be able to ask it next week.
Anything? Yeah, I'll be playing today for a little bit, so yeah. No big deal.
No biggie. Very nice. Mm-hmm. Oh, in 2.5 minutes.
Hardcore.
2 minutes. It just ticked.
Oh, man.
I was just gonna say you never know with digital clocks, but I just saw it turn to 9:58 in 2 minutes. I hope many people die in our private league.
Get ruined.
Many times.
When we used to shoutcast the races, whenever someone would die in mud flats, we'd call it mud flattened.
Oh, awesome.
They got
That's
mud flattened.
Sweet.
Yeah, we've been there. Many times.
I got mud flattened on my first character this league. It was embarrassing. I was like, yay, guys, I'm back. Bam. Laid out. Fucking 10 minutes into the stream.
What did they change? Awesome. Let me go read those patch notes.
That's right. You go to mud flats and in the little notes it says nothing's been changed for 10 leagues.
No.
Did you play Ty?
I did, but you're coming
Anything
close to your
quick?
time, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Anything quick?
No.
Was it good? Was it successful?
Well, I've been playing a lot with my Atlas passive tree, but not in game, out of game. Like I'm going. So, yeah, this one's actually quite funny. So we can finish with this if you like. So remember last week or the week before, I said I was going through Delve.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, and I got the Parrot MTX, but I kind of wish now, like I never thought I would do Delve because I never really liked it. So I'm, I never bothered getting the Bear MTX. They had the support packs last league there was like the talking parrot, or maybe it was 2 leagues ago, but the talking parrot. And then there was the bear that turns into what do they call it? The crawler in Delve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I know I'm going to use the parrot. I love parrot. I love pirates. I love all that kind of stuff. So I'll definitely get that. And it was very kind because it was gifted to me. So I was picking and choosing. And so anyway, but I started this last couple of weeks. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I hate having all this like outstanding stuff in the game. So started going through and I was going to empty my Delve, and I decided like, even whether I like it or not, I'm just going to, always make sure my Delve is empty. And, so basically I finished that. I went through and I have capped, it's standard. So I have capped whatever it is, the sulfite thingy. Like I can't get more of it, increase the amount that I can get. So it was capped and I'm almost finished. I only have a couple thousand more, so that'll be used up in only a couple runs. And then I'm going to go through Heist. I'm going to empty out all my contracts and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to go through and do like all my metamorph and like just make sure that I don't have any of like those sort of side quest mechanics, nothing outstanding. And then my goal is to eventually have like just do the content as it comes, with the exception of fragments. Like when it comes to like sorry, can you hear my kids?
You're fine.
But the goal is to, with the exception of like fragments that just lead to a boss area, just do that content as I get it, as opposed to having lots of stuff outstanding. Metamorph's kind of a tough one to track because you need 6 individual pieces. So a lot of that kind of gets left by the side. But anyway, I discovered that I actually did have that bear for Delve. And I went through my whole Delve without it.
Oh no.
Isn't that sucks? So one thing I guess
did you
is
have it and
disappointing.
not know you had it?
Apparently, it needs to be equipped as your pet that you use in maps
Oh.
for it to use. So it doesn't just
it's not an MTX.
That's
you can
not
turn
exactly
on
intuitive,
and off. No, I was quite disappointed with that because I went through all my Delve Sulfite or Azurite or whatever it is. And then just yesterday when I was going through I turned on my Xbox to see what MTX I got because I made the purchase. I signed in through the Xbox on the website, made my Weta purchase. And then later on in the evening, I went to just turn on to see what I got in case I did get the sweet clock. And, but then I was going through my pets and I had just in a few sessions ago, I switched which hideout base I was. And so and I always like to have my pets running around. Unfortunately, I have 1,000 pets. So it took me like 30 minutes to take all the pets out and then put all the pets in. And going back to the tagging thing on the store, there's like 6 pets I have that don't have a pet tag. You know what I mean? I actually have those pets written down on a little Google Keep sheet. So because when I search for pet, they don't show up. I have to go individually and search for them. So anyway, I was going through that and then I saw the bear, the tunnel bear. I'm like, what the fuck? How? I just did all this. Like my last 8 gameplay sessions were all in Delve and I didn't do the bear.
No,
so last night,
disappointing.
it was. So last night I put the bear back onto my character and I, instead of just going to bed at 9 o'clock, I went to bed at 9:15 because I made sure to do at least one little thing with the bear. So it was exciting. And then I remembered that I got that, like someone gave me a gift certificate from a birthday a while ago. So I used that to shore up the purchase for that one. So anyway.
Sweet.
So
did you end up getting the, you said you went to check your Xbox to see what you got. Did you end up getting the clock?
No, I got remember I got the octopus head on one and then
just
on the
wanted
Xbox
to
I got
drill that one home one more time.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick.
I love you.
So anyway, I've been going through my Atlas passive tree because I haven't been staying up late. I've been going to bed crazy early for whatever the reasons are that I'm so exhausted. I haven't pinpointed it yet, but during the day I have PoE on my mind. So I've been revamping my Atlas tree, but only in PoE Planner. And I can talk about that next week because there's no point in me using all the Orbs of Unmaking now because I'm sticking to Heist and Delve and all that. So there's no point. So may as well save it. And by the time I get to my new and exciting Atlas passive tree, I'll probably get the free respec when 3.23 comes out.
Sweet.
Well, what are we at? October? Yeah. So then it's just November and then mid-December. So yeah, 6 more weeks.
6 more weeks. What's your next little bit look like, BK? You going to be streaming still more?
Yeah. Plan is for keep streaming for a couple more weeks and then see how things go. Gonna be picking up that job probably towards the middle of November. So we'll see what sort of like hours and availability it needs. And if it doesn't need anything in the mornings, then I'll probably still keep my mornings, you know?
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right.
That's cool.
Well, you're going to join us for After Dark?
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Cocktail in hand. I don't know which one yet, but I have a few hours to figure it out.
Yes, you do.
You're also welcome to join us. So if you felt like crushing hardcore solo self-found, you can get that supporter pack. It's funny. I actually wanted to point out. Oh yeah, that's right. You can play with the bud. But
thanks a lot,
I was actually gonna laugh just quick. I know, Justin, you want to finish it off, but we've had a lot more people join our Discord for this private league. Like just, they join the Discord, get the link information that they need for the private league. This one, we have a lot more new people joining up for this one than we have for every other private league that we announce. And I have a funny feeling it has something to do with the value of prizes. I know there's some regular listeners that aren't a part of the Discord, and that's totally fine. Happens all the time. But there's always going to be those strangers that don't listen to us that, they're giving away.
We only have
support
3 prizes though.
Yeah.
Right, but these ones are our biggest prize. Before it was $20, so strangers aren't going to care about that. But now you're getting a support pack instead. So people that don't listen to the podcast are likely to try and swipe that away from people. So
they might have picked a good league to do that because Crew's not playing.
Well, true. But if you're a listener, make sure you win. Don't let any non-listeners win stuff. You laugh and point at non-listeners. Only listeners are allowed. It doesn't matter if you're active in the Discord, but only listeners are allowed to win.
Well, it's only in our Discord, so yeah, they'd have to be a listener to find out, I think. I don't know.
No, you could have somebody say,
"Yikes! I've been talking it up."
Yeah, sweet.
Sorry,
nice.
so it's my
No,
fault.
don't be. No, don't be. Awesome. That's totally fine.
We message you on Discord with your winnings, so I'm just kidding.
And if you don't say thank you, we revoke it. If you don't tell us what episode number is your favorite and why.
I looked in. Oh no, I'll bring that up later. All right. I just wanted to throw out a big thank you to Talon for the bot that we used through the private league. It's amazing. So love you for that. It's super sweet. Let's wrap this up. 211 Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, AK Tags.
Tyler, Record of Days.
And I'm Brittleknee.
BK, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have all of BK's information down below if you're looking. Hold on, what do I do here? Patrons, we'll see you in After Dark with BK. That's going to be a ton of fun. Everybody else, we'll see you next week in 212. If you're looking for more information, you'll find down below. We got BK's info down there as well as ours. We got a website, foreverexiled.com. We're on Twitter, foreverexiled82. We have a very fun Discord you should be a part of. There's a lot of fun stuff that happens in there. And
full of
Patreon,
winners.
another way to support the podcast. It is full of winners. All of the winners. What else? Patreon, other ways to support the podcast down below and on our website.
We did the spiel. High five.
We did the
it.
spiel. That's it.
I think it's
Bye.
bye. I love how like some people listen to us at 1.5 times speed because I talk slowly, but sometimes people just do that, especially if they're like regular podcast listeners. They want to get through them all.
I wonder what the end sounds
quickly.
like.
Exactly. I was just gonna say, like, you probably sound like that.
Like I'm in the commercials.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta go back and
Absolutely
check that. Yeah. Side effects are death and blah, 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 blah. All right. Bye.
Deaf.
Bye.
Too much Tylenol. Deaf.